What up, guys? GangstaPranksta here, bringing you the weekly wrestling review for July 2nd. It was a good week this week in wrestling. You had great pay-per-view, some great shows, and let's just go through it. So first, we had ROH Best in the World. This pay-per-view was great. It was fantastic. If you did not watch this, shame on you. Go order this pay-per-view. It was awesome. You had great wrestling, great matches, great angles, great everything. And let's just review it right now. It starts out with Kevin Kelly, Jim Cornette, and Dave Prazak. They're all in the ring. They talk about how it's the biggest crowd in ROH history and the most ordered eye pay-per-view in ROH history. And they thank the fans. So that's a good way to start the show. First match, we have Colt Cabana versus Tommaso Ciampa. It was a good, fun match. Yeah, these two had a good match. Colt Cabana does his little quirky stuff that he does in the ring. Tommaso wins. The end, they fucked up the finish, but it was still a great match. Next, we have Jay Lethal versus Mike Bennett. Good match. Jay Lethal wins, so maybe we'll see more of him in Ring of Honor. That'd be cool to see. And yeah. Next we have Rhino versus Homicide in a street fight match. Good match. Homicide wins. After the match, Rhino gores Homicide through a table, and he's stretchered out. For those of you who don't know, there's a new promotion starting up. I don't know what it's called, but Homicide has signed on to be a part of it. So this was kind of ROH's way of writing him out of a storyline so he can leave the company. Next, we have Steve Corino. He comes out and he talks about being a changed man. And since everyone forgave him, they should forgive Kevin Steen. He tells Steen to come out, and Steen comes out through the crowd, and he looks to be in good shape. You know, he lost some weight and stuff. He tries to come into the ring, but Jim Cornette and security stop him. For those of you who don't know, it's part of a different storyline. Like, he was part of a storyline, and he lost a match, so he had to leave Ring of Honor. And yeah, so this is part of a storyline. For those of you who haven't followed ROH. So Michael Elgin comes in for his match with Corino. So it's Steve Corino versus Mike Elgin. It was a pretty good match. Mike Elgin wins. After the match, Elgin attacks Corino. Jimmy Jacobs tries to make the save, but Truth Martini takes him out. Mike Elgin and Truth Martini continue to beat up Corino and Jacobs. And then Kevin Steen comes out and makes the save. Jim Cornette and security, they come out, but Corino asks if Steen can say a few words. The fans chant, and Cornette agrees. So Kevin Steen, he gets on the mic, and he says all he wants to do is apologize, and he makes it seem like, he's sincere about it, but then he ends up tricking everyone and saying, fuck ROH, and he attacks Steve Corino and Jimmy Jacobs. Security tackle him, drag him out of the ring, and Cornette says Steen will never come back to Ring of Honor. I might have, the way I described it, it may have not sounded that good, but this was great. I enjoyed this a lot, especially from the feud that leads up to this. Next we have Christopher Daniels versus El Generico. This is the match you're probably watching right now on your screen. It was a really good match. El Generico wins and is the new ROH TV champion. Christopher Daniels, he looks to be done with Ring of Honor 2. He's going to go work with TNA full-time. Next, and that sucks, because Christopher Daniels is awesome. Next, we have Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas versus the Kings of Wrestling, consisting of Claudio Castagnoli and Chris Hero, versus Rhett Titus and Kenny King, who are known as All Night Express, versus the Briscoes, Mark and Jay. Elimination match. This match was awesome. This was one of the best tag team matches I've seen in a while. This match was ridiculous. 40-minute match. Like, it was awesome. It was just awesome. You know, these guys, they fucking delivered one hell of a match. So let's just go through it. Haas and Benjamin win. They retain the ROH tag team titles. Eliminations go, the Briscoes are out first, eliminated by the All Night Express, and then the Kings of Wrestling eliminates the All Night Express, and then Haas and Benjamin eliminate the Kings of Wrestling. And yeah, this was a great match. This match alone was worth $15. This was great. And next we have another amazing match. An amazing match. Davey Richards versus Eddie Edwards. Awesome match. Like, fucking 5 stars. Like, that's how awesome this was. This is what a world heavyweight title match should be. They wrestled for 35 minutes. They gave it their all. They beat the shit out of each other. Like, holy fuck. The amount of kicks Eddie Edwards took was fucking redonkulous. And you know, the fans, they appreciate good wrestling. That's why I love New York. New York is a crowd that appreciates wrestling. They were chanting stuff like match of the year and this is awesome. And it was just great. Davey Richards wins and becomes the new Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. After the match, Davey, he gets on the mic and cuts an emotional promo, saying that he doesn't really have a family anymore, and he thanks the fans, and he says wrestling's all he has. It's a great promo to end the pay-per-view. You can tell Davey Richards was really like touched by winning the Ring of Honor title, and you know, he worked hard to get it. He's a great wrestler, one of the best wrestlers right now. He's amazing. Yeah, so this pay-per-view, you need to order it. It was awesome. Like, $15 pay-per-view. Great pay-per-view. Next we have WWE Raw. It was the Raw Roulette with HBK as host. Let's just go through the show. So it starts out with HBK, comes out, he says it's good to be back. Punk, McGillicuddy, and Otunga come out. Punk talks about how he's going to leave the WWE with the title. They go back and forth, and it ends with HBK super kicking Otunga. The GM says CM Punk will face an opponent. They spin the wheel, and it's a mystery opponent match, and the opponent is Kane. And then HBK super kicks McGillicuddy. So we have Kane versus CM Punk. It was going good. It was going really good. But Punk walks out and Kane wins by count out. Next we have Sin Cara versus Evan Bourne. They spin the wheel. They get a no count out match. It was pretty good. Sin Cara wins. The best part of the match is when the fans were chanting Power Ranger for Sin Cara. I thought that was funny. Next we have Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler. They spin the wheel. It's a Vicky Guerrero banned from ringside match. Pretty good match. Kofi wins. The title was not on the line. It was a no title match. Next we have Big Show versus Alberto. Spin the wheel. They get a cage match. It was going good, and then Mark Henry comes out, rips the cage door off, allowing Del Rio to escape, and then takes the door and slams it into Big Show, and Big Show falls through one of the steel cage walls. I didn't mind this. You know, Mark Henry is getting a lot of TV time, and I think he's doing a good job. You know, I thought this was good, and what he does on SmackDown, which I'll talk about later, was good as well. Next we have Kelly versus Brie Bella in a submission match. This match was horrible. Kelly wins. After the match, the Bellas attack Kelly, and Eve makes the save. Next we have a backstage segment with Booker T and DDP. DDP is there to promote the new WCW Nitro DVD. Drew McIntyre comes in and says Booker T and DDP are taking up his TV time, and he threatens them to hurt them if they don't leave. And then out of nowhere, HBK comes out and he super kicks Drew McIntyre. One thing, who did Drew McIntyre piss off? Like, this dude had a hell of a push on SmackDown. You know, Vince McMahon says he's the chosen one, he's the next big thing. This dude has not done shit on Raw. When I heard Drew McIntyre was gonna go to Raw, this was one of the things I feared. I feared he was gonna get lost and completely buried. Like, this guy only appears on Superstars now. That sucks. He's a pretty talented dude. You might as well just keep him on SmackDown. Like, draft him back if you're just gonna have him on Superstars the whole time. Next, we have Rey Mysterio and Alex Riley versus The Miz and Jack Swagger. It's a tornado tag team match. Really good match. Mysterio and Riley win. I wish they would have more tornado tag team matches. I think those are fun. They're unpredictable. It's crazy. No one knows what's gonna happen. Next, we have R-Truth versus John Cena in a table match. It was a good match. R-Truth wins after CM Punk tries to FU Punk. And then after the match, Punk cuts a promo. One hell of a promo. And yeah, it's, you know, it was the most talked about thing this week. He went to town on that promo. Let me just read off what he talked about. First, he calls himself the best wrestler in the world. He calls Cena an ass kisser, Hulk Hogan an ass kisser, and he calls The Rock an ass kisser. He says he's the best wrestler. He talks about how Paul Heyman gave him a chance. He mentions Brock Lesnar. He talks about how he's not in movies. He's not treated like a big star. He mentions New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor. I popped. Like, I flipped out when he mentioned Ring of Honor. I'm like, damn, you fucking mentioned Ring of Honor, you know? That's dope. He says hi to his friend Colt Cabana. That was funny. He talks about John Laurinaitis. He says he hopes the company gets better when Vince McMahon dies, but it won't because it's going to be taken over by his idiotic daughter and doofus son-in-law. And then he's about to tell a story, and then his mic gets cut off. That sucks. But it was awesome, dude. This promo, it was tits. Like, this was the shit. This is what a promo should be. And it's good to see CM Punk getting a push. It kind of sucks because, like, it takes him leaving the company to finally, you know, the company sees him as a big star, and he's bearing Triple H and Hulk Hogan and John Cena and all those big guys. And this is a promo that's straight from the heart, and you could tell in his delivery he went to town. So I thought Raw was okay, and the promo was like icing on the cake. You know, it was awesome. Next, we have TNA Impact. It starts out with Hulk Hogan. He calls out Mr. Anderson. He comes out. They talk about Sting's rematch in 2 weeks. Blah, blah, blah. Hulk wants Anderson to take Sting out and to join Immortal. They show a backstage segment with Sting beating up Immortal. Sting comes out. I mean, I fucked that joke up. I was going to say Joker comes. And it's definitely clear that, you know, his character now is modeled after the Joker because he has the exact same face paint. Yeah, I don't think Sting needs to change his gimmick like so late in his career. Like, this guy's ready to retire whenever he wants. I really don't think he needs to change it. Because if this is his last year in wrestling, and like, this is what the fans are supposed to remember when he leaves, he's some crazy lunatic that thinks he's the Joker, one of Batman's greatest villains. Like, I don't think Sting really needs to do this, but so Sting comes out, he attacks Hogan, Anderson runs off. Sting says he talks about how he wants Hogan to change. He sits beside Hogan. They eat vitamins. I thought this was ridiculous. Immortal comes out and Bully Ray says Sting will face Scott Steiner tonight. Next we have Samoa Joe versus Brother Devon in a good match. I thought it was good, you know. Devon wins, and I have no idea why Devon wins. Unless you're doing an angle with Samoa Joe, he goes on a losing streak or some shit. Why is he losing to Devon? I like Devon, but I think, you know, if you really look at it, Samoa Joe's the better single competitor over Devon. So I think, yeah, Samoa Joe should have won. Next, we have Low Key versus Matt Bentley versus Jimmy Yang. It was a really good match, and it was really good to see all these guys back in the ring. I really like Low Key. I'm glad they called him Low Key and not Senshi. Good to see Matt Bentley. I liked him. I wish they would have done something with this tag team with Kazarian. And Jimmy Yang, I think he's a talented dude. Yeah, and he was using the Flying Elvis gimmick, which he used when he first started in TNA. I think he was the first match. I think the first match in TNA was Jerry Lynn, Low Key, and AJ Styles versus Sonny Siaki, Jimmy Yang, and George Estrada, I think his name was, and they were the Flying Elvises. So, yeah, this is old school. And, Low Key wins, so he's going to go to Destination X. I wish all of them could go to Destination X, but if I had to choose one, it would definitely be Low Key. Next we have Winter, Angelina Love, and Madison Rayne versus Mickey, James, Miss Tessmacher, and Tara in an elimination match. This match was okay at best. Mickey won for a team, but everyone's timing just seemed to be off in the match. Like, they were not connecting with moves that well. It just seemed, I don't know, it just didn't gel well for me. So it wasn't that good. Next we have a contract signing between AJ and Daniels for their match at Destination X. AJ doesn't want the match because he's afraid things will turn personal. Daniel says let's do it for the fans. AJ agrees, they both sign. Jerry Lynn comes out and says the X Division is about giving fans what they want to see. RVD comes out and he says he was X Division before there was an X Division and everyone is trying to imitate him. Daniel says next week there will be a 4-way match between the four of them, which should be awesome. If they get 20 minutes, TNA. This match, 20 minutes, could be one of the greatest matches on Impact history. After this thing, AJ is attacked by Gunner. Leads to Gunner versus AJ. Pretty good match. Gunner wins. I wish they gave this a few more minutes. Just seems they rushed everything. Next we have Mexican America. They come out. They talk about being screwed over again and again. And it's rightfully so. I think they should be used higher in the tag team division. It just seems like TNA forgets about them. Next, with the British Invasion come out, and Magnus talks about Mexican America need to earn their shot at the tag team titles. I thought this was funny because this coming from a team who didn't earn their shot at Slammiversary, talking about how people need to earn their shot. I just thought this was very hypocritical. Magnus cut a really good promo. After that Mexican America attack British Invasion, Rob Terry comes out, he makes a save. I guess he's back with British Invasion. It's good to see. One thing about British Invasion, I think they should have never been split up. I thought they were a great tag team. I guess they were a faction because they had 3 guys. But yeah, I just think TNA should have never split them up. Next we have Sting versus Scott Steiner. Short match, not bad. Sting wins. After the match, Sting goes to paint Steiner. Bully Ray comes out, attacks Sting. Anderson comes out, hits a low blow, and Hogan, Steiner, Bully Ray beat up on Sting, and then Angle comes out, makes a save. Overall, I thought Impact was okay. Next we have SmackDown. Orton starts out with Orton versus Mark Henry. Pretty good match. Orton wins. The end comes when they were fighting outside. Big Show music plays, distracting Mark Henry. Orton hits an RKO, and he wins by count out. After the match, Mark Henry goes to the guy that plays people's music. Henry destroys all of his equipment, and then he does something incredible. He grabs the guy around the neck with two hands, and then he just fucking tosses him. Like, he tossed him. Like, hopefully this guy had a crash pad, because he fucking flew. He flew. It was ridiculous. Next we have Daniel Bryan versus Ted DiBiase. Really good match. Daniel Bryan wins. Christian versus Sin Cara. Good match. Christian wins. Sin Cara's win streak is over. Christian ended it. Next we have Cody Rhodes versus Ezekiel Jackson. Pretty good match. Cody wins. Kane versus Wade Barrett. Good match. Kane wins. And to end it off, they have a contract signing between Christian and Orton. Christian talks about if he gets screwed again, he gets another rematch. Orton says Christian will never beat him. They both sign. Sheamus comes out and attacks both of them. And then he rips up the contract. So that was SmackDown. It was okay. Yeah, it was good. It was good. And yeah, that's about it. We got just some news to go through. Mason Ryan is injured. He has a hamstring injury. If Mason Ryan needs surgery, he could be out of action for 6 months. If he's able to rehab it without surgery, depending on the severity of the tear, he could be out for 6 weeks to 3 months. He's a pretty big muscular guy, so he's probably going to need to have the surgery, and he's probably going to be out for 6 months. That's just a fact. You could see Batista, he was always injured, and you know why? Because he was a big muscular guy, and those guys are more prone to be injured. Next we have authorities have determined that Macho Man died of cardiovascular disease. Pretty much he had a heart attack. He suffered only minor cuts and bruises from the crash. So he died of a heart attack, and I guess he would have survived the car crash if he didn't have a heart attack. Next we have, well, according to a source, there have been on and off talks with Spike TV and TNA. Will be taking more Impact tapings on the road. According to Hulk Hogan's Twitter, that will come in August, and he tweeted, "Getting ready for 2 days of Impact tapings in Orlando. Can't wait till August when we start going on the road every other taping." This is huge for TNA because I think the Orlando crowd definitely hinders their crowd reactions when they have pay-per-views or TV shows. So it's good to see that they're going to be taking the show on the road. And yeah, I hope they come to Canada. I'd love to go see a show. That's about it. ROH is having a DVD sale for the July 4th, starting July 1st and continuing until Tuesday morning, July 5th. You can save 30% off your order. So DVDs are usually around $20, but with this, you could probably get them for $14. That's not bad. There's a lot of good DVDs that you can get. And if you don't want to buy any ROH DVDs, they also sell TNA and WWE DVDs, so you can, and those will be on sale too, I think. So yeah, lots of stuff this week. Definitely check out Ring of Honor Best in the World if you haven't already. Great pay-per-view. I recommend it 10 times over. Remember, it's $15. If you don't know how to order it, I will link last week's episode, and all the information is there in the description. So, I'm going to end this out, guys. Take care. Peace out. See you next week. One more thing before I end this out. Randy Orton just did an interview a couple days ago where he said some interesting things. He talked about John Cena, The Rock. He kind of called Kelly a slut. and just interesting things, very interesting things. I recommend you guys check it out. I'll link it in the description. Yeah, it's a very interesting interview. I suggest you check it out. Peace out, guys.